Hello there, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Ed Live on this Saturday evening. This evening we have quite a lot to talk to you about. Some good news, and I say that guardedly in some quotes. They're quote unquote good news for public servants of a salary increase. We're going to discuss that as we go along in the program, and to talk about some statements that were made prior to the announcement of this salary increase for public servants. And of course, we want to talk a little bit about claims and objections. That exercise has been completed. There were some objections by the PNC, APNU, AFC. And of course, we want to talk about the whole preparations for elections, and of course, this big battle, this big fight by the AFC for to maintain their perks and positions. So we're going to talk about all of that and much more this evening. And I want to talk directly as we go along in the program to our young people and to our poor people of this country. And I want to ask you a few questions, and I want you to do some introspection, to do some reflection, to do some thinking, and ask yourselves whether or not you're better off now. So we have lots to talk about this evening, and maybe based on time, we're going to open up the lines to take a few calls to hear from you. So I want to start off to talk a little bit about the salary increases. So the unconstitutional cabal, the coalition, announced salary increases for public servants. And I'm happy for public servants that you're going to have a good Christmas. You're going to get some money, and I want to say to you, take the money. It is yours. It is nothing new. It was budgeted for in the 2019 budget. So it's not like the government is doing you a favor. It was budgeted for, it was approved by Parliament, so it's nothing new. You take the money, and we're seeing statements going around the place about, and I want to clear the air again. I know the leader of the opposition would have spoken to this matter, and I just want to reiterate what he would have said. There are memes and all sorts of things going around by the desperate APNU AFC trying to give public servants and Guyanese in general the impression that the PPP somehow is not happy with public servants getting a pay increase. I want to say to you, the leader of the opposition made it absolutely clear that you should collect your money. It is due to you, it is yours, and it is nothing new. It was budgeted for. There are memes, like I said, going around about the PPP when they return to power, that the party will somehow revoke or retract, or whatever statement you want to use or term you want to use to take back the money that public servants would have received as salary increases for this year. That is an absolute lie. It's a desperate attempt by the coalition to give you the impression that the PPP will take back your money, so that it's a way of tricking you, trying to trick you, so that you should vote for them, because if you vote for the PPP will take back your money. That's a lie. The leader of the opposition made it absolutely clear that you should collect your money. It is due to you. So you're going to have a good Christmas. But 20,000 persons, poor people in the public service, should be concerned. They should be concerned. And for what? Winston Jordan made a statement, a public statement at an event recently, that while it's good that the public servants will get a salary increase, it will be retroactive from January 1. They will get a lump sum of money that they can have a good Christmas. Winston Jordan said, in order to sustain the salary increase, the public sector must be downsized by at least 20,000 persons. What that means? Winston Jordan and the coalition is saying to public servants, fine, we're going to give you an increase. We're going to give you retroactive. But in order to sustain this in 2020 and beyond, we have to fire 20,000 of you. So, like they did in the Sugar Belt, like the pressure they built on the forestry sector, on the mining sector, on every other sector where persons continue to lose their jobs, they're now saying to public servants, enjoy this. Enjoy your salary increase, but 20,000 of you will be going home in 2020 because we can't sustain this with the size of the public sector. This is a legacy. This is a hallmark of this coalition where they love to put people out of jobs. At least 30,000 people since 2015 are out of jobs. They're talking about another 20,000. While Dr. Irfan Ali and the PPP are focused on creating 50,000 jobs, 50,000 new jobs. And those of you who looked at Dr. Ali's interview on Kaicho Radio, he went through in detail how those jobs will be created. And I can reiterate them in a nutshell for you a little later in the program. So while the PPP and Dr. Ali are focused on creating 50,000 jobs, with the 20,000 that the coalition is talking about here, that they will fire next year to sustain the salary increases, the coalition is looking at putting more than 50,000 people out of work. They're not looking at job creation. They're looking to fire you. So Mr. Jordan decided to make it public that we're going to give you a salary increase, no problem. But we'll have to send home 20,000 of you so that we can continue to sustain the salary increase. Public servants should be concerned. Every single public servant should be concerned because this 20,000, he didn't say where the 20,000 will come from. So you don't know who it will be. None of you. You will get your salary increase, but you don't know what next year has in store for you. And that is why we cannot vote for this coalition. We cannot vote for people who want to put us out of work, who want to ensure, and this is what it is, who want to ensure that our families, our children, our wives, our parents don't know where the next meal is coming from. The coalition, these people want to ensure that you can't pay your mortgage, that you can't pay for your vehicle, that you can't survive. Think about it. In a population of just about 750,000 people, a coalition that claims it has the interest of the people at heart is saying to you, take your salary increase, but guess what? 20,000 of you will go home. So they already put over 30,000 out of work, and they're going to add another 20,000 to it. Another 20,000. So what are you going to do? There aren't jobs out there. So, brothers and sisters, you have to wake up. You have to wake up and you have to recognize the fact that this coalition has absolutely no concern, no interest about your well-being, about your livelihood, about your survival, and about how you, as a poor Guyanese, as an average Guyanese, will survive the next day. They have absolutely no concern. They increase their salaries by 50 and 100%, and they're living the life. Their bills are being paid by the state. They're driving state vehicles. They're not buying gas for the vehicles that they're driving. But you, the poor people, who are working $70,000 based on what they announced, will be working $70,000. They're going to put 20,000 poor Guyanese public servants out of a job. I don't even want to touch the percentage of the increase, because when you calculate the percentage of the increase, those who are earning $1 million, ask yourself who are earning $1 million. The ministers. And their cronies are the ones who are earning $1,700,000 and $800,000. And when you calculate the percentage of increase that they got, you probably get a $5,000 more, where you got $4,800 more. on your salary, those of you who are going to be earning $70,000, while the ministers and their cronies get $30,000 and $40,000 more on their salaries. Ask yourselves, are you better off? Ask yourselves what 20,000 of you will do come 2020 if this coalition is re-elected and they're going to fire 20,000 of you to sustain. And guess what? I can tell you this now. The 20,000 that they intend to fire are going to be people not in their circle. They're not going to fire their friends and cronies. They're going to fire the poor people, the honest, poor public servants who are working, whose salary would have absolutely no impact on this increase. Your $70,000 and $80,000 a month will have absolutely no impact here. Their cronies and their friends who are earning $5 and $6 and $7 and $8 and $1 million, those are the ones, if you're to fire them, because that group, that clique at the top there is getting bigger every day. Where people, brother, sister, cousin, aunt, nephew, uncle, are being hired without the competency, without the skills, but are being hired and paid super salaries. The fat cat salaries that as they were blaming the PPP. So those are the ones that are going to remain, and you, the poor people, the average public servant, who's working for a small salary, 20,000 of you will go home. We have brought this to, well, the media has brought this to the attention of the public. We have been talking about it in the PPP all along, and not a single word from Jordan or anyone else to dismiss this, because they can't. He made it public, he said it publicly, and it was reported in the media, it was repeated time and again, and he said nothing. His silence is a perfect example, or is a demonstration that he indeed intend to, the coalition intend to, fire 20,000 persons. What they did to the sugar workers, and they come to you with all sorts of promises. Remember, they went to the sugar workers, Granger himself, Ramjatan, Nagamutu, and all of them, they said to the sugar workers in Berbice that we have no intention, these were their words, not verbatim, we have no intention of closing the sugar industry. We have no intention of putting you out of jobs. They said what the PPP was saying, that they wanted to close the sugar industry, was propaganda, was lie. They went ahead, they closed the sugar industry, and they put over 7,000 persons out of jobs, directly, and thousands of persons indirectly. Shops are closing in Wales and in Berbice. The transportation sector, people who transport people are not seeing business. The taxi drivers, the minibus drivers. The minibus driver who was employing a man as its conductor is not working by himself because he's not getting the kind of work to pay a conductor. That person is out of a job. They put thousands of our Amerindian brothers and sisters out of jobs. They continue to destroy the forestry sector. Our brothers and sisters in Region 10 are begging practically for food because they get 30-something tags. Imagine a community, an entire community is allowed to sell 30-something logs for a year for survival. Let us put it at $10,000 for a log. And each family get one log. You have $10,000 to survive for a year. They continue to destroy the business community by not creating an environment so that businesses can grow, where businesses have to downsize, have to send home employees, where businesses are struggling. And they did all of this, and they add over 200 new taxes to you. They did all of this, and they put VAT on water. They put VAT on electricity. They put VAT on health on health services, certain products. They put VAT on education pressure, they removed it. They put VAT, they put taxes on almost every single thing. So they put you out of a job and they ask you to pay more. They want to put another 20,000 out of jobs. Brothers and sisters, wake up. Open your eyes and you will see that the coalition is only concerned about their friends, families, and cronies. And I want to say something to you. You take a look. Ask yourself this question as a young Guyanese, whether you're an Afro-Guyanese, Indo-Guyanese, Guyanese of Amerindian descent, Portuguese, whatever your ethnicity is, as an average poor Guyanese, what has the coalition done for you? In terms of employment, in terms of empowerment, in terms of owning your own home, in terms of owning a vehicle, in terms of having a savings, in terms of even helping your family. The only people who are benefiting, a small clique, a small crew, a small group of their friends, their families, their cronies, and a few businessmen of all ethnicity who are willing to pay a bribe. The youngster in Albistown, or the youngster in Port Moran, or the poor family in Anna Regina, or the poor family in Linden, or on the East Bank, East Coast, or right here in Georgetown. Ask yourselves, what has the coalition done for you? What have they done to better your life? The coalition, Mr. Granger, has brought back the Burnham era, this elitism. It's an elitist coalition. The government that they created is an elitist government, where they divide Guyana into classes. So only a few rich are benefiting. They are businessmen, they are rich people who are honest and are not willing to pay a bribe, are not willing to do all sorts of favors for them in order to get contracts or to benefit. Those persons who are refusing to do that are being squeezed. They're being squeezed. Legitimate businessmen, legitimate contractors who are not in to give them bribes are being shut out. And people who are not qualified, who are not equipped, are getting the jobs because they're willing to pay a bribe. So that's the kind of class that they're creating. They have this small cabal at the top of their friends, their families, their cronies, and those businessmen and contractors who are willing to give them money and to bribe them and to you know, if they want to show up at a club and drink something, that they can get it. These people can buy it for them. These people can send them gifts. These people can buy all sorts of things to them. That is what they want. And that is what they're doing. They're not concerned about the poor people. They're not concerned. And you be honest to yourself. Ask yourselves the question, am I better off? Have I been able to get a job? Have I been able to pay my bills, which have increased? Am I able to save? Was I able to get a house lot? Was I able to buy a car? Was I able to simply provide the basic necessities for my family? The argument, okay, the PPP didn't do anything for you. Ask yourselves, what has the coalition done for you? You name 3 things. And I'm saying this to you, as a family, you sit down home, you're watching this program, sit with the family and ask each other, are we better off? Are we still living and we can't get a house lot because the coalition didn't develop anything. They're now running around the place busy, fixing streets that they neglected for 4 years, fixing all sorts of things, ministers, illegal ministers going around the place, donating street lights as though it's coming out of their pocket. It is your money. It's taxpayers' money they're going to use to buy those things, and they're going around the place all of a sudden to say, oh, we're going to donate street lights, we're going to fix your road. All of a sudden, they're coming to your communities to say, we want to hear your problems. For 4.5 years, they didn't want to hear your problem. For 4.5 years, they weren't coming to your communities. They were driving around in the heavily tinted vehicles, and they were flying past you. Elections are coming, so they know you now. Don't be fooled. Don't allow this coalition to brainwash you, to try to tell you that they're going to do all these things for you. All they're concerned about themselves, and I'm going to tell you why they're concerned. I'm going to demonstrate to you why they're concerned about themselves. I'm going to take a few calls before I do that. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Lee.
Hi, good evening, dear.
We have a few sugar estates that are still going.
I'm trying to save the phone. I can hardly hear you. I'm trying to see. Maybe you should put the phone a bit closer. Hi, go ahead, sir.
Yes, we have a few sugar estates that are still going. And I am telling you, within a year, they're going to close all those estates. Like the poor sugar workers are listening to you. You see, they have not gotten increase since 2016.
Well, Valda Lawrence told the sugar workers that they and the union should trash that out. We don't have any concern with that.
Regardless of what she says, if they get him back to office, the other set of sugar workers are going.
And we know that.
We found the 15 to 20,000 service workers who will be phased out. I don't know what will happen here. Look, today UG had a graduation, over 2,000 graduated. Where is jobs for them?
There are no jobs for them. Absolutely no jobs.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm telling you, if they go back in office, people take notice about tonight's program. The estate is going to close within a year. All. They were down all. And all those remaining sugar workers would go on the bread line.
Thanks for coming through, ma'am. Thanks so much. And, I mean, they have demonstrated that, their behavior. Like the woman said, that they may likely close the remaining sugar estates. Because what these people are doing, they're emptying the treasury. It's already empty. And they're banking on oil. They're going to get oil money. So, in order to sustain their lavish lifestyle, in order for the coalition to sustain its lavish lifestyle, they are deciding to fire people. So you, the poor man, are going to be sent home so that Nagamutu and the others can ride around and live the Cadillac lifestyle. You know, the good life. They can live the good life. They're going to send you home so that they can live the good life. Good evening.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good evening, dear.
Yesterday I heard Brother Lawrence say that it because the cane cutters them for out a job, and how a whole set of things they went talking about make that happen. I don't know what really happened to those. They're only blaming PPP.
Because they're lying to people. They continue to lie to people. So what they do, they turn to blame the PPP. Everything. Imagine almost 5 years after you're in office, you're still blaming the PPP. If the people rode...
And all the road and everything that they're doing now is PPP to start doing it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that point, because I spoke to a gentleman today. I was at a city business, and I spoke to a gentleman today, and, he's telling me, I'm living in Sophia how long, and I'm seeing these guys coming around trying to fix the roads and so on. At least they're trying. I had to remind him that the roads in Sophia was a project conceptualized along with the Sheriff Street project, conceptualized under the People's Progressive Party, and all they're doing now, they're not even implementing it properly, they're screwing it up. Because we understand they redesigned Sheriff Street project, cut the money and all sorts of things. So, nothing, they haven't done anything for this country.
Anything.
Apart from enriching themselves.
Now all of them could have a phone in their pocket at home and everything. Is who bring it on, it's PPP bring on everything.
Thanks for coming through, ma'am. Thanks for coming through. So, like I said, all these people are concerned about are themselves. Have you guys recognized how, just imagine if the AFC, the way they're fighting now for seats and for position, who should be prime minister and how many seats they should get in parliament and how many ministries they should control and all sorts of things. The same vigor, the same energy that they're fighting with APNU to get positions and fight for themselves, had they used that same energy since 2015 and has been fighting for you that way, maybe your lives would have been better. But now, they know that they want positions. They want to protect their perks. They want to protect their positions. So they're fighting. Imagine them meeting every day, negotiating, and they're arguing how many seats I should get, how we should share the spoils. You know, we should get so many seats. We should hold these ministries. Then they want to hold public infrastructure. They want to hold oil and gas. They want to hold natural resources. The ministries where they can siphon off the money. So the AFC automatically got a whole host of energy, fighting for position, fighting for ministries. They didn't fight like that for you since 2015. They didn't fight like that for you. Nagamutu told public servants, be patient. The ministers took a 50 and 100% increase. And Nagamutu said, hey, we need an increase, man. You be patient. You wait. Your turn is coming. They didn't fight for you. They didn't fight for the sugar workers who they're told they're not going to lose their jobs. They're not fighting, Ramjit and the others are not fighting for the innocent people who are dying every day at the hands of criminals, whose homes are being robbed, whose businesses are being robbed. They're not fighting for you, but they're fighting for seats and ministries. And Ramjatan is fighting, crying to become prime minister. You know, he's crying he needs to get the position. Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, brother.
Most like to say that I could sleep up with my back door open. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Maybe his home is empty. This gentleman just said that he can sleep with his back door open. At the same time, when the Guyana police force, through the acting crime chief, announced only yesterday that there has been over 600 murders since 2015. That's all I will say in response to the gentleman, who probably was told to call in, who probably has security, state security around his building. You know, probably one of the cronies who getting all the security of the state. So he can sleep with his back door open. He can sleep outside if he wants and all, because he has security. Go tell the poor people in Berbice, those families whose homes are being robbed, who are being beaten, whose hard-earned money and possessions are being taken. Tell the young people who are walking the streets and their cell phones are being grabbed. Their bags are being taken away. Tell the poor people in Essequibo whose homes are being broken into. Tell that to the families of businessmen who are being killed for what they're working for, that you can sleep with your back door open. You're lucky. I think I lost that call there. Yes, so the point I'm making is that the way the AFC is fighting, tooth and nail, crying, begging, rowing, arguing, threatening for positions, for ministries, They didn't do that for you. They didn't until today. And they still are not doing that for you because they don't care about you. They care about maintaining positions, that they remain as ministers and they remain in positions. That is all they're concerned about. Good evening.
Stop trying to manipulate the people.
Okay, I don't understand what she's saying. I actually don't understand what she's saying, but it's okay. I'm glad when the PNC trolls come through, you know. I'm glad when they come through. Because people, they expose how some of our brothers and sisters are allowing themselves to be brainwashed. I don't need to come on television to tell you that murder, robbery, and crime in general has increased. I don't need to tell you that. I don't need to come on television to tell you that you didn't benefit from nothing under this coalition. I don't need to come on television to tell you that all these guys are doing are enriching themselves, are opening bank accounts all over the place, millions of US dollars and all sorts of things. I don't need to come and tell you that. It's there. But I'm telling you this because at the end of the day, every single Guyanese, I want to say this to you, you need to look out for your family. You need to look out for your loved ones. You need to ask yourselves whether you're doing enough or you're able to do enough to ensure that your children can have a good education, can lead a happy life, can enjoy what life have to offer in terms of everything. Whether you're able to do that. You have to ask yourself whether that $70,000 you're working for now can pay a rent, which is average about $40,000, can buy you a basket of goods for the month, can allow you who drink a beer or two to go in the corner and drink a beer or two, to probably go and watch a movie, to probably buy a fancy TV, to buy a car. You have to ask yourself whether you can afford that now. You are able to do it with even a smaller salary based on the economy of scale under the PPP, where you were paying thousands of people own homes. You can't go to the bank now and get a mortgage. The bank is afraid to give you a loan to buy a house or to build a house because people are not working. You're not qualified. You're not working. Good evening.
Hey, Ed. Good evening.
Good evening, brother.
All right, good. The guy that talked about his back door. He can sleep in his back door. But I wonder which one of his back door he's talking about.
I didn't get that.
I said I wonder which one of his back door he's talking about.
That's a different story. But I doubt whether, and that's why I ask him, I want him to go and tell the poor people on the road to sleep with their homes open. I'm from Essequibo, and I can say this publicly.
Maybe he doesn't have a home.
Probably. Probably. Or he is one of them who's benefiting.
The road that they don't have doors.
He is one of them probably who's benefiting from the security of the state provided by Granger and his cabal. So he can afford to do that.
I get that.
Thanks for coming through, brother.
It's a lot of security. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming through. Yeah, so I'm from Essequibo and I can say this. I know back in the day, you never used to hear about people breaking into your homes, isolated incidents. The people of Essequibo the other day, they captured 2 bandits. And the people are living in fear right across this country. While Ramjatan is crying to become minister, not trying, crying, crocodile tears, that he should be the prime ministerial candidate. While Nagamutu is enjoying all the sirens and driving around and cutting ribbons. While some of the others are enjoying filling their pockets. The poor people of this country are continuing to suffer. Good evening. That's the kind of people that you have coming through. Brainwashed. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Do you think, or the people think that the IL money can benefit anybody in this country?
Look at the deals. You think that we have any benefit, really? Just look at the deals. And I think Trotman need to come public. Mr. Trotman said that the deal he signed with Tullow for 1% royalty, he was instructed to do so. Mr. Trotman need to publicly say who instructed him. So, we don't know. We don't know about the benefits of the oil money. But they're banking on that. They have destroyed agriculture. They've destroyed the mining sector. The manufacturing sector they did nothing for. Every single sector they destroy. And they're banking on oil money.
The oil money won't be benefiting nobody or nothing in this country. They don't even know right now submarine coming and drying the oil and going away. And they ain't got no accountability for the oil.
Thanks for coming through, brother. I'll probably steal 2 more calls quickly, and then we'll try to wrap things up. I want to leave you with a short video before we go. So I'll try to take probably about 2 more calls to hear from you. But comrades and friends, brothers, sisters across this country, I want to say to you that the APNU AFC did absolutely nothing, any one of us, apart from their friends and their cronies and the little circle that they have of people who are willing to pay them a bribe and who are willing to do them favors. The average Guyanese did not benefit. Nobody really get a house lot. Many of you are out of jobs. And the list goes on. You check the basket of goods you have to buy now. Compare the price, how much it will cost you now, as against how much it cost you 5 years ago. I'll take 1 more call and then I'll leave you with this video. Good evening.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening, brother.
The coalition right now, they're doing the wrong set of jobs, yeah, man. They're supposed to be outside Calgate because they were always seeing them in all the pictures. They should keep the same.
Because they're happy, they're benefiting, so they're happy.
Yeah, they're doing the wrong set of jobs. They're supposed to be outside Calgate, supposed to hide them.
The coalition, they don't care about you, so they could always smile and show they're always happy because they're benefiting. They're living the good life, not you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming through, brother. All right, this is where I will wrap things up. I'll be back here next Saturday evening, God's willing. But I'll leave you with this short video. I think it's very interesting, and it's something that all of us need to really have a good look at. Operator, take it away.
I was not born into wealth. I was born in Lenora, and I spent a lot of my childhood in Lagwan. There I collected firewood on the seashore with my grandmother. I helped in the rice field and enjoyed a good swim in the Essequibo River. Both my parents are educators, and have contributed more than 80 years of public service to Guyana. This instilled in me, at a very early age, the value of education, service to people and community. As a child, I always had a balanced approach to life. I enjoyed playing cricket and volleyball, but also worked very hard in school and gained a place at St. Stanislaus College in Georgetown. My family, like so many other Guyanese families, made tremendous sacrifices for my education. I thrived in fulfilling my dreams of becoming an entrepreneur and employing people. Like so many Guyanese, I plowed through many obstacles along the way, but stuck committed in fulfilling my dreams and my goals. My story is not unique. Like so many of us, I worked hard against many odds to survive and strive. Just a few months ago, my first child was born. My hope for him is the same hope I have for all our Guyanese boys and girls. It is a hope of a better life, a prosperous future, where they all can realize their aspirations in a united, safe, and thriving Guyana. But what kind of Guyana will we leave to our children? Will we give them hope for a better future? Will they feel safe walking down the streets and in their homes? Will they be able to trust our healthcare system? Will they be able to fulfill their educational dreams? And will they have access to good-paying jobs? We Guyanese are a hopeful people, We love our land, our unique cultures, and our values. When we grow old and turn this country over to our sons and daughters, I want them to inherit a transformed Guyana, where our streets are safe, jobs are plentiful, land is accessible, and our people are thriving. I hope you will join us in this campaign, a campaign for a better, stronger, and safer Guyana.
Yeah!